Bill Gates hates trees.
What does it mean? That's such like a vague statement. I don't believe in him.
Well, he hates real meat too. So I mean, like
Son
he's
of a
just
gun.
like, I mean, all that stuff is just kind of, it's just getting to the point where
I have to.
what is he gonna burn down all the trees so we don't have any more oxygen? We don't have any more oxygen anymore, and we all just die basically, which is a very real
You
possibility.
just lasered the fuck out of Hawaii.
Yeah.
He just lasered the fuck out of
That's
Hawaii.
what I did.
I didn't think that wasn't blue. Did you?
Yeah, they were.
That's a rabbit hole topic right there
they
too.
shut off the CCTV vision for just a few seconds. And
I didn't believe it for a while, but I believe
The more I'm seeing these videos,
Like the
And-
blue houses and everything.
Like not maybe it was Venezuela or somewhere else, dude. It's a straight laser coming down. All of a sudden, like 30 minutes later, a huge flame is going out. Like trees are burning and shit. I'm like, this is something's going on.
Well, I'm in like another thing now. We're talking about the trees. Back in Tartaria, like that old architectural like heaven, basically, there were a lot of houses or a lot of older buildings were built without chimneys. I don't know, Gurgat, if you ever gone down that rabbit hole. So yeah, so basically they were using, I don't know if it was radium or something. They had a certain technology that would basically heat the home without burning wood.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound
So
right.
what? How was
No. But it was like energy apparently. So like why? So what a way to basically kind of maybe, I don't know. I haven't looked into it a lot. This is like I remember it from like 2 or 3 years ago when I was looking into it, and it's like, well, trees give oxygen, right? Basically to the entire
That's what the
two-
science I was
2
told the
hour
trust says.
2 hour atmosphere. So what a way to like basically humans slowly killing off our oxygen levels by killing off trees. Does that make sense? To heat our homes, to do different things. But if there was this technology maybe 120, 130 years ago that we didn't have to kill these trees or we didn't have to chop these trees, and there was like an element that basically was able to heat our homes, we would have so much oxygen. So the whole key to enlightenment and consciousness and a lot of things with mitochondria is oxygen, right? So the less oxygen we have, the less conscious and the less enlightened we are. So think about how they are slowly but surely killing off our trees. And now Bill Gates, obviously, he's got to be the proponent
What
of
a
it.
perfect segue. Because here's what's going on. I'm seeing these TikToks of this clip of Bill Gates mocking people for being pro trees. And I'm like, all right. I got to see this in context because it really just cuts. The second he calls people that are saying plant trees idiots, it cuts. And when you play this video, this is the only thing I didn't get to prep before, and we're gonna have to look it up.
Okay.
The guy interviewing him says, "Well, I'd love to hear what so and so has to say about your comment." Whatever that name is, I'm gonna have you Google who he is because Bill Gates makes a scoffing face, like he's pissed that you even said his name, and he doesn't even acknowledge him. He just takes a sip, gives a scowl, and puts it down. I'd like to believe that guy is probably a big advocate for trees and probably the natural resurrection of our country or of our healthy environment versus creating more machines that can fix the problem from making machines. That being said, Brian, play this. So the video is 35 minutes long.
Let's watch the whole thing.
No.
I'm
This
kidding.
is just a minute and a half.
Let's comment on that.
It's an interview from the New York Times with David Galez. Bill Gates shares his doubts about tree planting, but is bullish about carbon capture and the promise of technological innovation. This was all done at the Climate Forward conference. So if you could play this clip.
About something you just mentioned, you're the largest individual customer at Climeworks. Climeworks is one of the most scaled and advanced carbon capture and sequestration companies. What does it mean that you're the single biggest customer? What does that look like? What kind of a customer are you?
Check.
Yeah. But are you offsetting your own personal emissions
Yes.
with that? And can you give us a sense of the scale?
Yeah.
Of that?
What do you mean? Yeah.
It's like 10 million a year.
Okay. And just
It's
to be
a variety of things. The Climeworks is part of it. Buying electric heat pumps for low-income housing where they get the benefits of lower monthly bills, and I take the carbon credits for those things. There's solar panels. There's a huge variety of things. I don't use some of the less proven approaches.
Such as?
I don't plant trees.
There's a lot of people who are very enamored with trees. We've got trees on this stage. Some people would even say that if you just planted enough trees, it could take care of the climate issue altogether.
And that's complete nonsense.
Okay.
I mean, are we the science people or are we the idiots? Which one do we want to be?
First of all, this fucking guy
I'm gonna
probably
call my
came
friend
there on
Mark
a
Benioff
private
and ask him
jet.
what he
You
thinks.
think Bill Gates is in coach, dude, on a flight, and he's talking about carbon footprint? This dude, one fucking flight
Oh, just
pretty
wait.
much covers my carbon footprint for my entire
A
life.
scientist.
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah,
That's
this
the
guy's
crazy
Bill
thing.
Nye. That's what kills me. He's a showman. He's not even a real. Finish these last few seconds.
Oh,
Here.
Windows.
Benioff and ask him what he thinks.
Mark, what? Ask so and so what he thinks.
I'm going to call my friend Mark Benioff and ask him what he thinks.
Mark Benny.
Mark Benioff.
At the very moment that we're trying to find
So that being said, I let it go just a little bit longer there because I wanted to show how it just ends. He doesn't even continue like explaining why are you against trees? Why are we all idiots for being in support of trees? What's very interesting, I like your point about the carbon footprint. So I did a little digging in Climeworks because as the interviewer there indicates at the beginning of it, he goes, "You're the #1 customer of Climeworks." Well, what is it? It's a Swiss company specializing in direct air capture. Me and you are not even going to go down the road of how corrupt and how old Rome, the Swiss government is. We're not even going to open that Pandora's box. But that being said, they have 15 direct capture plants across Europe. And like Bill Gates indicated, he gives them about $10 million a year for this project. It seems to be like a pretty cool science. What's the concept? We're creating these super machines that instead of, so this is what's laughable. You go to their website, Brian, you might have it up for us to see what carbon capturing is. But what I love is the concept of what carbon capture is. They say on the website, I have it on the tabs up there for you.
Okay.
They say instead of directly addressing what's creating the carbon problem, we're going to create these machines that will take the carbon out of the air. And so again, it's like up until this point, you said, I need to put plastic bottles in a tub. I'm the reason the planet's dying. Ignore the factories that are making these plastic bottles. And then when you finally admit, and this truth surfaces that, yeah, all right, it's our factories that are doing all this shit. Well, we're not going to stop. So what you should do, stop planting trees, invest in our machines so we can have this secondary company that will counteract all of the problems created by our actual factories. So now we're getting two factories. Really, I own the factories that are creating the pollution, and then I'm going to create and buy all the factories that are going to take the pollution out of the air.
Right.
And trust the science, but forget everything you've learned up until this point that trees do it just as good, if not better,
Right.
because you're an idiot.
And let's just think about these people that are going to these, let's say, global warming conferences. They're all probably on private jets. So it's like, you know
they're
what I mean?
probably
It's
all
like,
autistic, right?
so
Greta?
like hypocritical motherfuckers. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, don't listen to anything this guy says. Bill Gates. I don't know. Like, I just feel like a lot of the stuff that he's saying, it's like, no, against meat, like the plant-based meat. It's like, come on, dude. Like, it's just, that's laboratory made. It's laboratory made. It's nothing.
Boom.
So-
Brian, do you have that up? I think I had something about laboratory meat, or maybe
So like even when you go like even when
it's in
so
my phone. Never
I don't know
mind.
if anyone's ever tried to meditate under a tree. It's like though it like energetically it grounds you. So like the tree, the energy of the tree is very grounding. So we as like a society, we're very like ungrounded. We're not in touch with nature.
Right.
So the more ungrounded we become, the more we become maybe more reliant on technology, because when you're grounded, you look at everything more and in like a spiritual perspective. And I think the more we, let's say, advance our technology, the more we get away from ourselves.
Totally.
So it's like, all right, so I mean, for me, I remember doing it during COVID. I was meditating on a tree. I swear to God, my heart was like skipping. because it was like taking all maybe those EMFs or like everything that was kind of in my system, and it was like grounding me, and it was bringing me back to the frequency or the energy that is like more, I would say, in correlation with like God consciousness. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So it was like,
they say the roots of trees communicate with each other.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Oh, it's a whole
100%
system.
when you use the word grounded,
And you idiot, we don't need those trees.
it's truest to the core meaning of what you're saying. Is grounded is so true. Your body's sitting at the base of the tree, going into the ground. That's communicating with all the other trees. No, seriously. That's
So then think about
Think
because
about when you
we
go
are
barefoot.
we are kind of like our physical vessels are kind of always in correlation with Mother Nature. So
Yeah.
let's say we start cutting off trees, we start cutting off connection of the trees, then we as human beings, I think we'll start cutting off ourselves with connections with one another. Maybe I'm like, that might be a big fucking like
No.
reach,
Nope.
but it's like, but I mean, like even when
Dude, we got rubber soles on. And
Yeah.
think about how life-changing it is when you finally go barefoot.
yeah.
Dude, breaking news
Wait,
today.
Go to the reverse side though. How good it feels to go barefoot, except for if you don't go barefoot for a long time, it feels like you're like walking on glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get tender, you get
Yeah.
weak, you
And-
can't even.
Feet are so
And have you, and I don't know if you guys ever like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have watched the Avatar movies and remember like the tree of life and how they want to kind of like cut that tree down, which is like, I don't know if you ever looked into like different tree of life, but there were our I would say realm maybe like 150 years ago. There's a lot of like kind of referring to like that Tartaria state as well. We had huge trees that kind of connected everything. And now when you see like, I don't know where this area was, it's kind of like in a desert and it's just like chopped, but it looks like the roots of like trees. And like, even when you look at a lot of series, there's always that tree of life. And now they want to cut it off. So I mean, Bill Gates trying to like hate on trees. Maybe he wants to cut off our tree of life as well, which kind of like oxygenates our world. And if we don't have enough oxygen in our world, then we as human beings die.
Dude,
You know?
we can't be.
Not only that is you can manipulate their brain with the less oxygen you have. I
Exactly.
mean, your brain, it always says it needs brain, otherwise it kills, or it needs oxygen, otherwise it kills brain cells, right?
Right.
That's what your brain needs.
Dude,
Maybe
I think it was
keep-
the last time you were on. We also talked about on the podcast how it was just last year Bill Gates was developing a technology to block the sun out. His theory was if the extra thick ozone layer is trapping in the sun heat, and that's what's causing the air temperature, the climate to rise, the temperature to rise, that if we just cut down the sun that's coming in, and he created these planes that'll dispel this chemical, that'll block the sun. It's just like he's blocking
What do you
everything.
mean? What do you mean?
that's insane.
Chemtrails?
Yeah. But literally.
Oh, they've had those for a while now.
So
yeah.
akin to that, breaking news today, Italy announced that they're outlawing Bill Gates's artificial meat in all of Italy.
Oh, I've seen
So,
that. Yeah.
so what has this guy done? He wants to block out the sun. He wants to F up your air. Trees are for idiots. Here, have some fake meat.'t all going to be eating bugs soon enough. Get my artificial jab. Like all of these things.
Get my artificial jab, and then let me make a piece of heart equipment that's going to solve the issue.
Exactly.
The vaccine that goes off of what you're
Yeah. But it's like everything's artificial this, artificial that, for them to get their end goal, which is basically artificial intelligence, because they want to push that so that they can basically connect us to a cloud or something where we're not even human anymore. We're just robots, and we need to be connected to the cloud to even function, which is just total control. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know, everything's artificial. But I think what we need in this world is something real. No, I'm kidding. I like made my voice really deep there just to kind of like hit it home. But no, I don't know, dude. It's getting to the point where it's just kind of like anything this guy says is kind of like you got to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, he's just pushing these crazy agendas, which are just not good for the human body and for the human being. And if you follow him, I don't know, man. Like I feel like there's no coming back if you haven't realized at this point that Bill Gates is kind of
That was a question I was going to lean on next is try to put yourself in the other shoes. What are the redeemable factors here? He stole the Microsoft technology, capitalized on it, became a billionaire. Growing up, I've been told, we've all been conditioned, he's the smartest man alive. Okay, cool. What has he done? He gives a drop in the bucket here. He gives a drop in the bucket here. I'm a big philanthropist.
Like
But then when you
vaccinated
look-
all of Africa, basically,
Right.
which
no,
is.
but then when you
come
look
on,
at what he really invests in, the couple $1 million, $1 million here, $1 million there, the big investments, $10 million to a company that pats me on the back. I am the second biggest donor to the World Health Organization. You could say that's a good intention. I care about the health of the world. But if you actually look at the organization itself, what it carries out across the globe, and how it has an agenda like anything else, the fact that this human being is investing more than any other country besides one to this group speaks volumes to it. But I guess the question I'm coming back to is the person that still blindly finds faith in Bill Gates. Where are the redeemable characteristics?
Yeah.
He's not even married to his trans wife anymore. So like what's the
Yeah.
redeemable characteristic anymore? Your face.
Yeah, I wish I got that. I saw it.
Yeah, dude. And I think he's like the biggest owner of like land in America or something. He's bought everything up,
that's another
which is another way to just kind of. I mean,
Suffocate
if you
the market.
because once you go off grid, you're not dependent on the system. You can have your own garden. You can have your own cows. You can have your own goats. You can have cheese. You can have meats. You can have.
your own cows. They fart and
Yeah,
Right,
they're
man.
creating. I forgot.
And then you got a vaccine where they got to kill them off, and it's just like it's getting to the, like we were just talking about this before you came in about like the what was it, the dog new dog disease or something. It's just kind of like
see the virus going across China schools. It's going to be here in what?
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
probably already making its way. They want to let us get infected with it first and be like, oh, I guess we got another pandemic. Brian, you said you had a comment for us?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, first I wanted to say that he also invested hugely in mosquitoes and trying to
Forgot about
implement mosquitoes into society to
that.
prevent.
And they were genetically modified.
Yeah, to prevent malaria, even though
Yeah,
it
they
wasn't
wanted to
really
put-
around here.
Didn't they
Now
want
it
to put
is.
a vaccine in the
Yeah.
They were going to put a vaccine
Oh, I didn't even know,
in the
yeah.
mosquitoes.
I
That's
knew
what
about
it
the
was.
mosquitoes.
Yeah. And they dropped them off in like Alabama, Florida,
Yep.
like DC and stuff. We do have a comment. You see the clip of Joe Rogan talking about how much of a clown Bill Gates is to suggest that we should be adding foods like plant-based meats when we physically look at the way he does. When he physically looks the way he does.
Yeah, that's a perfect
Who
point, too.
commented?
William Shatner.
Okay.
I just it always
He has
cracks
had
me
great
up.
comments over the past few weeks.
He has. He really has. What I appreciate
Isn't there like
is,
a guy named William Shatner? Isn't he like
yeah,
That's Scratner.
Oh, okay. okay.
Scratner. The
I was like, dude, we had a Hollywood celeb listening to us.
Yeah.
Wait,
I'm like,
dude,
that's probably the craziest algorithm for him when he gets on YouTube. He's like the Rethink Tank in Cleveland, Ohio. He's like, who the fuck are these
and
guys?
then he just jumps into the comments. Somebody's got to defend my boy Bill.
Yeah, yeah.
But
They're in the
it's I
club,
like that point, Scratner, because as we had indicated, like, last episode we were talking about like Fireball. It's crazy that there's a chemical in Fireball that is in antifreeze, and
know
Fireball
about this.
is illegal.
Finland, it's illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal. Well, it's illegal in the European Union. So
I had no idea. I never
you
knew about
can't
this.
just go pick up a bottle of Fireball whiskey, and it's because of this chemical, glycol, something
Yeah, like
riboryl
glyphosate.
glycol, and because of that,
This guy's rapping over here.
because of that, we can't have it. So I'm sitting here scratching my head, and I'm like, we have blind faith in our agencies. The FCC, all of these agencies that are looking out for our health and our betterment, and yet the European Union's doing more protection than ours. Well, you can make the claim that it's freedom. Yeah, what's up?
Fireball was recalled due to concerns it contained an ingredient used in antifreeze. This ingredient is propylene glycol, otherwise known as part of the mixture used to de-ice airplanes.
Dude, I've seen that
In
in like
2014, Fireball was recalled in European countries because propylene glycol levels were deemed too high.
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's wild. So, it starts
Like the stuff you
alarming
put in
me.
your car, you're putting in your body. Like,
But there's a safe
Yes.
amount.
So again,
Everything's good in moderation.
Yeah.
Italy doesn't have cars. They are in terms of civilized development, I would say at least half a century behind us.
Italy?
And yet, in terms of technological advancements, cultural advancements, world advancements, the only thing they have is the Vatican, and that isn't even them. It's a different country. The fact that in Italy, they are saying, yeah, we're not doing this artificial meat stuff. And we're putting a blockade to this Bill Gates push. And we're not only advocating for it, but we're looking at you saying, get comfortable because soon you're going to be eating bugs. And I'm supposed to believe you have my best interests at heart? Like, what am I missing? Italy has my best interests more than you do at this point.
At the LA Dodgers Stadium, we get fried grasshoppers.
But I also want to walk.
Really?
But
How much are those?
Probably 24.
Yeah, it's like
40
it's like
bucks.
in LA, like Los Angeles, like delicacy. Like people are like
insects.
But
people think they're enlightened by eating them. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Steve's making me acknowledge an important piece, and it's that we have the freedom. So the scary part is how the propaganda and marketing, as they call it, can manipulate our agency and control what we choose. But the fact is, it's scary that they have me advocating for control. Outlaw the burgers, outlaw the grasshoppers at football games. I shouldn't take that position. The position should be, have your stupid fake burger, have the Impossible Whopper. I'm just never going to order it.
Yeah.
The scary part is I have to live in a world with the masses. So even if I don't buy that Impossible Whopper, I'm said we need to have a universal basic health care. I need to pay for your health. I need to pay for your housing. You don't have a job. I got to make sure that you have the ability to live and pay for that existence. So now, I do have a bit of an investment in not controlling your behavior and your agency, but at least refraining you from making such detrimental decisions that I have to foot the bill. That's the balance we're taking here. Is I don't want you to make so many dumb decisions that then you're coming to me and my tax dollars and saying I need to take care of you. At the same time, we should have the freedom to have you want to sell, lighter fluid as skin lotion. Well, the person that's buying this thing for skin lotion, you're the idiot. You shouldn't be buying it. So I should sit back and let you make a dumb decision. I don't know.
Well, that is what Danilo was saying earlier, though, is just rely on yourself. You got to rely on yourself. Build your garden, buy a cow or two. My brother-in-law, he actually does this thing where him and his brother and his dad, they buy a cow and they split it, and you get every piece of it. I mean, you're getting burgers, you're getting steaks and multiple different cuts of steaks. I mean, you're getting every part of the cow. They butcher it perfectly for you, and they vacuum seal it and everything, and then ship it to you. But not that.
But you're eating real meat.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And that's not where
That's a brilliant point.
the comment started off, though. But it's what you had said is build your own garden,
I love that.
buy your own cows, obviously have them reproduce, and you've got that. Buy land,
But it's
buy
so.
land.
But the thing
by the way,
is,
reproducing only happens between a man and a woman.
but like,
Sorry, I had
but what you're saying is like, think about how manipulated we have been. So even when you cut grass in your front yard, you're cutting, and when you spray the weeds, there's a weed called dandelion root. It's like dandelion, obviously we all know what it is. It's in your front yard. That's like one of the most potent cancer killing plants, herbs, and it's literally living in your front yard. But we go and cut it. We have to kill the weeds. And we fertilize our front yard. Dude, there's no way you can even like grow food in your front yard or backyard anymore. And then you get to the point where like, all right, well, I need to go buy land. Well, Bill Gates bought all the fucking land, and the price of the land has gone up because he's fucking jacked up the price.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Rethink Tank Live. Join us every Tuesday at 7 p.m. streaming across the platforms on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. We do our best to promote user engagement, and we want you involved. So be sure to bring your perspective live so we can get you in the dialogue. See you then.